Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros MLB. This is Leading Off Live, brought to you by PrizePicks. Sign up for PrizePicks today and use that promo code Leading Off when you do. It's me, of course, and the Welsh, and it's you, and it's back to business. It's Monday. Happy Father's Day out there, belated to all the dads out there. Hope you had a nice Father's Day. I spent my Father's Day coaching my daughter's flag football teams, which was great fun. We had a great Sunday. It was a beautiful time. Welsh said he did nothing, which is exactly what he wanted to do. But Welsh, the opposite of nothing is going on in the chat. We have, once again, before we even start the show, we've got about, 80 messages in here. I see people making trades, people talking about stuff. And we're getting really close. We're at 13.9 now. We are less than 100 subs away from Mustache Day here on the show. But
Joe's great mustache ride is what it's called.
That is not what we're calling it, but yes, there will be mustaches if we get to 14,000 subs by the end of the month. Now we got some time here, Welsh. I think this crew can do it. What do you think?
I think so. I mean, I am shaved. Everyone can see. It takes me quite a bit longer than yeah, completely, just top to bottom, just rip it off. Like Father's Day.
Phelps. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I'm going to be doing a swimming competition. That's right. Can you imagine just the speed? What an absolute nightmare fuel. But yes, I have time to grow it back. If you guys want to get the subscribing and liking and all that up, so we can get to 14. We will have the great mustache extravaganza. Mustache Bros.
You know what the funny part is? Speaking of dads and Father's Day and all that stuff, I've never seen my father without a mustache in my entire life. He has had a mustache my entire life. I've never seen him clean shaven ever.
That's always so weird too, when someone has established like a look that is always that look forever, and then it's completely dry. My uncle kind of did a similar thing, and then like when you would shave, like it shaved like 30 years later, you're like, what is going on? He should change it up. Could you think it could grow back quick?
I'm sure it can, but I mean, I guess the bigger point is it's like even Tom Selleck shaved his mustache for a little while. I mean,
did your dad have any big movie roles?
Not that I know of. But they were not called anything about mustache rides. I can tell you that. Let's get to the headlines, and we have to start with Lance Lynn because there's a bunch of wacky headlines from this weekend. A bunch of the upside down I think we were living in. Lance Lynn had 16 strikeouts. I can't even say it because it's so absurd. He had 16 strikeouts over 7 innings. He didn't get the win in this game. No. The White Sox continue to be just the most bizarre team that I've experienced in quite some time. I feel bad for White Sox fans. You have Tim Anderson dealing with another injury now, so he wasn't in the lineup this weekend. But, the Lance Lynn, you look at, he was towards the top in terms of strikeouts on the year. The strikeouts were never an issue. That ERA is still kind of absurdly high. So I think we have to ask ourselves right now, it is the 19th of June. And again, happy Juneteenth to all that are celebrating. My question to you is this. Rest of season Lance Lynn, is this a player that you want, or do you want to trade him off of this 16 strikeout performance? And if you still somehow have him on your roster or someone dropped him and you picked him up, is this the time to get out?
I don't know. I mean, that's like probably the question. Let me give you real quick some more absurdities with him before we move through, because I did a audible audibly freaked out when I looked behind the scenes. He had 33 swing and whiffs in this game, a 54% whiff rate. 54. That's crazy. He technically registers 6 different pitches. He had 4 more whiffs on 5 of the 6. He had a 38% CSW. Every single pitch that was used double digit had over 35% CSW percentage. It was like a crazy performance where this is definitely the big sell high opportunity. And I don't know if you saw over the weekend, the White Sox also did this is what kind of annoys me. They're not willing to sell off, at least at this moment. They'll only sell like ancillary rental pieces right now. So they're not going to go into a tank and maybe move these players. But I think Lance Lynn showed us exactly why you can sit around and roster him. If someone's willing to buy high because of 16 strikeouts, I think that's great. And you probably should. But at the same time, I think he lives above waiver wire or streamable fodder. And these strikeouts are the type of things you can get. So he's like one of these like big strikeout guys, or a guy that hits 215 like Kyle Schwarber, but can have 5 homers in a week. I think he can push you up on a really great matchup for strikeouts more than anybody else. So I think you can hold on to him if the trade market doesn't look really solid for him and people are just trying to trade you garbage. I might be willing to hold.
Do you think a contender wants Lance Lynn? Like either the Dodgers or the Braves or even the Phillies would be interested in Lynn?
Yeah, I think the Diamondbacks would kill the back end of the rotation.
Diamondbacks would be a good spot too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think teams like that would 100% because he's a guy that eats up innings, can theoretically, if he's going good, can get you out of the bullpen. This guy threw, hilariously though, still like 15 pitches less than what Paul Skeens has been throwing in the College World Series, but he threw 114 pitches in this game. So to have a guy that can go that deep, whether it's good or bad, is a huge positive. You know, even if he's giving up 3 or 4 earned runs, to be able to avoid your bullpen like that, yeah, 100%.
It's going to be interesting to see what he does the rest of the time. Blake Snell has been very interesting too. Another 12 strikeout performance for Blake Snell. Well, I don't know what to say. I mean, you know, in April, this guy is just terrible. I mean, like, let's not mince words about it. There's nothing good there that you could possibly say. And then he starts to find it, and then it gets to this point where it's absurdly good. Like, not a little good, it's absurdly good. And this is the kind of pitcher that drives me crazy, and I understand, you know, how so many people, you know, always love Blake Snell, and they like, this is the upside, this is what I want.
Yeah, man.
In your opinion, as I'm trying to actually look here, in the last 28 days, Blake Snell has a .60 ERA over his last 5 starts, 45 strikeouts in 30 innings, and a .90 whip. That is incredible. I think we can all agree on that. Then if you look at the breakdown in terms of month by month, right? He had an ERA in April of 5.48, an ERA of May of 3.82, and so far the June ERA is .47. Welsh, your thoughts?
I mean, I was like, I kind of got him wrong like throughout the year because if you watch the trade videos, I was buying him early in the year because we know I didn't think like he was going to be this dramatic of a crap fest early on, and then it was going to turn as hard as it did. So I was buying him earlier, and that was a mistake. And now you're looking at what he's doing, and it's crazy. You know what's hilarious too is everybody for the last 2 years has been like, just don't throw the changeup. Yeah, everyone's like complaining about especially the big pitching guys. Like, just don't throw that changeup. It was the second most used pitch, over 22% in his last start, and it had a 64% whiff rate and the highest CSW percentage of any of them. So he's kind of going back to what he's wanted to do, and he's found consistency with it. But like, does this scream sell now? Yeah, because he is so wildly swinging up and down. Like, I think Blake Snell, man, is a good pitcher, and he has big strikeouts, kind of like exactly what we talked about with Lance Lynn, but with a better offense. The only difference, he's crazy inconsistent, and he loses his feel like dramatically. But is it possible that he holds on through the rest of the season? It is. So come back to the Lance Lynn conversation. What is someone willing to spend on a Blake Snell who was so bad, cuttable bad through the first, 6 weeks, and then has strung together quite a few really good starts? Is it going to be worth what you could get out of him? That I don't know, but I'm a little bit of a risk taker, so I might be willing to, roll with my Blake Snell if the offers aren't really solid. Lance Lynn or Blake Snell rest of season?
Oh, Blake Snell. I mean, because I believe in the Padres, and I think that's the next point of this, which is now that Blake Snell's figured it out, Waka's been great. Musgrove starting to, hopefully we'll keep an eye on that elbow.
You almost did it. You almost did it.
I did
and
not.
Right when you got to Musgrove too. That's so weird.
Well, that's
right
why
when
I
you got
said
to
it,
Musgrove. Yeah. No, but you could hear it coming.
That's what I'm saying. So the other thing was, you Darvish, you got Soto, looking like Soto again. Tatis has been red hot, Machado healthy again. The Padres are going to make a run. There's too much talent on that team not to make a run. They have the bullpen guy. They have everything. All they need to do is just play better baseball, and they have not. And they're going to be incredibly dangerous if they play really good baseball in the second half into the playoffs, because that team with Snell, Musgrove, and Darvish at the top of that, playoff rotation, they're going to be a lot to handle. Now's a great time to be making investments in the Padres.
You know what I wonder? And this is speculative. I haven't heard anything. I would love someone to ask him. I wonder if, because like Waka has lived off of this changeup. It's a ridiculously good changeup. I wonder if Snell had a conversation with him, because that has been one of the big difference makers. Snell always wants to throw a changeup. It's never great or consistent. And then all of a sudden Waka comes in, who's been great. And that changeup is kind of taking back over and becoming a dominant pitch. I just wonder if there's some type of tweak that's happened, and maybe it came internally from that pitching staff. Cause there's a lot of stuff. I mean, I told you about how Musgrove was trying to readjust on changeups. I just wonder if that's kind of changed the game a little bit. And that's something we can consider. Cause I think a lot of people are going to look and be like, this cool Snell's going right now, he's going to completely fall apart. But what if there has been some long-standing mechanical change, either in the delivery or a specific pitch like the changeup?
But Blake Snell's won a Cy Young. I mean, that's the frustration with Snell, is that he is capable of being great, not good, but great. And the frustrating thing is to watch him be way less than great for long stretches at a time. And it just seems like an annual occurrence. So head-to-head formats, he's a tough roster. I think he's one of these guys that if I'm in a season-long roto, I'm okay with Blake Snell, because I'm just going to know that there's going to be some terrible lumps around, along the road. And I think I just made a Welshism. I think it's
terrible lumps
or bumps along the road. It's lumps along the road. So I just made my first Welshism. This is what happens when we do a show every day together.
He's lump. He's in my head.
Emmet Sheehan. Also tremendous. 6 innings of hitless baseball. Not too shabby here, Welsh. Brian Bello was also good this weekend against the Yankees last night. 1 run, 4 hits. Pretty good. Got the W. Justin Steele came back. So everybody was holding their breath, including me. He was very solid. 2 runs.
Do the Justin Steele face. Do your Steele.
My blue Steele face? It's just
blue
my
Steele.
Face. But
I know, but do blue Steele. Yeah, there you go. That's Justin Steele's face.
I was Blue Steel before Blue Steel existed. I'm just saying.
That actually, if people go back and look, well, I don't know the timeline. One of the greatest things, and let me give a plug. The greatest things you can do in purchasing the Fantasy Black Book, whether it's the baseball, the football that's out right now over on Amazon, is getting the Blue Steel photo of Joe Pisapia is worth it every single time. 60% of the time, every time.
Works all the time. Julio Teheran also looks like 100% of the time works all the time. Another W for him. Who would you rather have rest of season? Brian Bello or Julio Teheran?
Probably Bello. Julio Teheran is fun. I don't think I'm gonna stick with that. Also, I think he's really good right now. This is a good, fun, streamable thing. I just don't think it's gonna last.
I'm so hot right now. That's what BT says. All right, let's get to the rookie. Mark Vientos was sent down because somehow we got Pete Alonso activated from the IL. Like, I looked up and I said, what? How? When? Why? Who? I was completely confused, as everybody. They said like a month. Now all of a sudden he's back. This scares the crap out of me. And I love Pete Alonso. He's a tough guy. But
you think it's going to fall apart?
I don't know, man. I think it's desperation. That's what it feels like to me. The Pirates, everybody's a buzz because we got a lot of catcher promotions. We got Bo Naylor and then Henry Davis. 2021, MLB draft first overall selection. He's 23 years old. He hit .284 with a .433, 551/11 homers, 9 steals. You never get steals as a catcher. So how aggressive, are you on Davis after these really solid numbers at Double and AAA this year?
I don't know if I'd be super great. This is another one of those guys. You hear me talk about it, and you probably hear me talk about it so much because of the correlation. Another AFL guy. This is a guy that was in the AFL this past year, was kind of like the main force for the local team right across the street, the Surprise Saguaros. Played catcher the whole time. I think he's actually a really good catcher, but the team has messed around. They've had him in the outfield, made a really nice diving catch the other day. Strikeouts were his problem, but he's lowered that. He had under 20% at AA, which I love. The power's always been there. The guy can run. He did that back in his Louisville days. I just don't think this isn't going to be like Real Muto, which it feels like when you look at it. You're like, look at all those stolen bases. Look at those homers. I don't think so. I think he's at best like average as far as like what he's going to be in the outfield. There's definitely pop though, but I do worry about some of the strikeout issues kind of being like a long-term fantasy type of thing. So am I in? Sure. But am I being aggressive like some of these other guys? Nah. We're getting inundated with a lot of the players. I like him a little bit more than Bo Naylor, but Bo Naylor's got a little bit more power in the tank there. Can also run, pretty athletic. Actually, you know what? They're probably about the same. I feel like I could talk myself into Naylor, maybe even him hitting a little bit higher in that lineup, looking for, some more offense for the Guardians. But maybe if I had a catching need, 2-catcher league, I put both same bids, little tiny bit more aggressive, and put the same bid on both and just happy with whichever one I get.
Our good friend of the show, Craig Mish, reported that Yuri Perez is going to remain in the Marlins rotation. Edward Cabrera, in case you missed it over the weekend,
Crazy.
had an injury, so he is going to be on the 15-day IL with the right shoulder impingement, which is never a good thing. So Perez, for the time being, again, these innings are going to accumulate. At some point, it's going to end. The Marlins run has been fun, Welsh.
Yeah.
I continue to tell everybody, this is a paper tiger. I'm telling you right now, if you don't think it is, then you are crazy. The Braves are by far the class of this division. The Braves are going to run away with this division. I think the Mets are done. I think the Phillies are last gasping, and the Marlins are going to fall apart at some point. Your thoughts?
I'm really worried about this one stinks for head-to-head guys, because what this all but assures, we're not getting Yuri Perez into the fantasy playoffs or when it's important, because the whole point of this was like they were going to send him down, manage the inning. I mean, maybe they would have screwed us in the end, and he would have been in some type of like relief or piggyback role, but this assures it now. Like the idea of what they were going to do maybe would have saved it. We're guaranteed this now. If he's going to stay into the rotation, these really valuable innings are going to get ate up, unless the team wants to buck the trend and be like, he can go well over his innings and they're not going to cap him whatsoever, which I don't think they're going to do. So I think this is kind of a death blow to end of season head-to-head Yuri Perez stuff. And I'd probably be in redraft looking to, if you can still move him, maybe you can still get some great innings. I still think he's one of the best rookie pitchers, but I just don't see him being around now towards the back end. Though I would point out, like, Cueto is coming soon. So you got to wonder, they say they're going to keep him in the rotation. Maybe that's only a start or two. I don't know if Mish touched on that when Cueto comes back.
He did not in this update anyway. I could text Craig because I'm cool, because I just throw out stuff like that. Like, I could text him to find out. But if you really want to know, I know a guy. Guardians put Tristan McKenzie right back on the IL with a right elbow sprain. This was always the concern with Tristan McKenzie heading into this year too. Was always the frame, the body. Last year was really good. He had struggled with injuries in the minor leagues. He had a really good full clean season last year. This year, it's been anything but. So it's unfortunate.
Look for Gavin.
Got him back too.
Look for Gavin.
That's a great question.
I think everybody kind of knows that that's a possibility. I had someone that is like in Connecty kind of tell me that you should be on the lookout for Gavin within the next 2 weeks because of this move. And they didn't make the move for him early on, and they've got, kind of like a side plan. But I do think there's a possibility that in the next 10 days we do see Gavin. So all I'm saying is, I personally would probably try to preemptively add Gavin Williams where I can in case this does happen.
Fair enough. Let's continue on here to the next one too. Sean Murphy, sorry, getting text from an important thing. Not Craig Mish.
Oh, Craig Mish?
Craig Mish. No. Alex Cobb on the 15-day IL. Sean Murphy also with the hamstring injury. So keep an eye on that. And then Julio Urias, we're waiting on him and Daniel Hudson. They could be activated later this month. We'll see if that works out or not.
I don't know what the deal is, but Daniel Hudson is doing all his rehab here. He's thrown 4 games in the Arizona complex. Yes, at my house. I'm letting him come into the backyard, throw the ball into the pool. It's totally fine. He's thrown like 4 games in the complex, and why I think he's getting close is they just had him pitch in 2 out of 3 days in the complex. And I've watched 2 of them. He's ridiculous right now, of course, because he's going against 17, 18-year-old kids. But they're starting to have him go back-to-back day or back-to-back or close to back-to-back days. So I'm going to guess this is going to move him up maybe a tiny bit, or maybe they just throw him right into action. But this is going to be very soon for Daniel Hudson.
I know Kaysen was asking us to talk about the Cardinals. Kaysen, for your own benefit, I don't think we should talk about the Cardinals. I just don't think we should. I feel like it's enough already. I don't want to pile on. I want to talk about Joe's tough guys. Zach Remillard, 29 years old. Zach Remillard made his major league debut at 29 years old, and he had a big hit, 3 for 3, in fact, with a pair of RBI for the Chicago White Sox. So good for Zach Remillard. And by the way, he's a free square hitting at the top of the order tonight, so he's going to be in the DFS discussion. 3 up and 3 down from the weekend. We had a bunch of multiple home run games. Eddie Rosario had one. Ryan McMahon had a pair of homers in the game, and so did Nolan Arenado. So if you had them in the home run contest, good for you. Also, Ethan is back from his illustrious vacation, which means that we have a home run board today, so we can see where everybody's stacking up. The 3 down, Giancarlo Stanton, 0 for 7, 5 strikeouts. Anthony Volpe, 0 for 7, 5 strikeouts. And Tony Gonsolin, who Kelly Kirby, the Wonky Penguin, wrote about in the Sell High trade piece from last week's FantasyPros.com. it was basically saying, hey, Gonsolin's xERA, his xFIP, all these numbers are telling you there's going to be regression. Well, there it was. 7 earned runs later, there was Tony Gonsolin. Ironically, he had a big strikeout total in that game, which you never see. So who knows? It was a very weird weekend of pitching. But with the Anthony Volpe 0 for 7 5K performance, Welsh, I think it's time to clear the kid's head. I think you send him down for the rest of the month, and July 4th, you give him freedom again and bring him back. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think
it's time.
I think I don't disagree. I feel like this was around the same time. I should go back and look and see what last year looked like, because I know it was like April and May were really bad, and then sometime in June it picked it back up. Maybe the play is you give him, let's say, this week, and then next week you send him down and push that through the All-Star break, and just give him like that type of run, and then post All-Star break you bring him back up. I'd say that's probably the possibility. It's a pretty blue Savant page. Like, there's not a whole, outside of him being fast, there's not a lot of redeeming factors on there. The strikeout percentage still being over 30, I think, is probably one of the most worrisome. And there's really no favors being done as far as any of the expected stats in his favor. So outside of him being a big speed force, probably, knock his confidence a little bit, get Peraza up here, and then bring him back in like 3 weeks. It's not a bad plan.
Okay, fair enough. Continuing on here, Welsh, it's that time again. Boys and girls, everybody loves this.
Oh.
Let's pick some prizes. PrizePicks, download the app or go to prizepicks.com. You get a 100% deposit match up to $100. Use that promo code leading off when you do. Again, one word, leading off. If you haven't tried this already, please go check it out. It's super fun. It's a good time, just like the Welsh. Welsh is super fun and a good time. I can't believe I had my first Welshism. I'm so proud of myself.
I'm proud of you too.
Take your lumps on the road. There you go.
I
want that logged for all the Welshisms if we're logging Welshisms, by the way. Welsh, where are you picking your prizes today?
Should make a book. We should make a Welshism book by the end of
Welshisms and other absurdities.
But like one of those like little, these little tiny like
little
Bible
mini
books.
Yeah,
like a little mini book, and it's just like there's one.
Yeah,
like one Welshism per page. Or, we could have like
better yet, perhaps the real thing is a Welshism calendar, like a daily Welshism. I mean, that would be
pretty
spectacular.
good. Yeah, and then I could just do like all my different looks. Like I have like a Jimmy Neutron, and then I have like a couple different hair,
the bad hair, the no hair,
all the different hats that come out. Who wants we were talking about the shirt. By the way, we need some more ideas. I don't know what's going on with the shirt. Who wants a Welshism calendar? I don't know if we can make that happen, but I feel like it might be possible.
365 of them, but maybe by the end of next year we can get there.
No, but a Welsh calendar, just a month. It's just a month. We'll have initially 12 good Welshisms.
Oh, I was thinking like one of those Welshism.
Oh, those rip ones.
The
rip ones. God, I don't even talk that.
We have to build to that. Maybe just 12 months of Welsh.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we'll do something like that. All right. When you prize picks upon a star. I have got 3 for you today, my friends. And these are all the funsy ones. These are all hitting ones. These are scores. I'm going with Ellie De La Cruz, 8.5 fantasy score over. I love guys like him in these type of formats where, a walk into a strikeout, into a run, they could not get a hit and they could hit their fantasy score just by getting on base that one time. That's also why I'm picking Corbin Carroll, even though it's a little bit of a tougher matchup versus Corbin Burns. There will only be one Corbin. This is like Highlander, and the last name will be Carroll. That'll end tonight. And then I'm going to put Corey Seager in 8.5 fantasy score. So Ellie, Corbin Carroll, and Corey Seager. Boom.
By the way, Corbin Carroll's on pace for a 30-40 season. I just want to point that out. Also, Ronald Acuna is on pace for a 30-60 season. I also want to point that out, which is amazing. Juan Soto, hitter fantasy score 8 over. Marcus Semien, 7.5 over. Fernando Tatis Jr., it's a high number. It's 9, but it's an over. I think the Padres are going to hammer the Giants today. Betting wise, a little lighter day. Here's what you do. You take the close money lines. There's a couple of them here. San Diego, minus 108. That's good enough. You put Houston on the money line against the Mets because they stink. And then the Milwaukee Brewers at minus 120. You put them all together, you get about 5-1. So in Milwaukee, Houston, San Diego, you can bet them all individually at higher numbers. That way, if you get 2 out of 3, like Meatloaf said, that ain't bad. You still at least break even. And if you put a smaller number on the parlay, you have a little bonus. So that's the way you do it. You get your money for nothing and your chicks for free. There you go. That's 2 80 songs references for you in one betting segment. Also, Hunter Brown, 5.5 strikeouts. I like the over against the Mets. Welsh, what do you like in the betting world today?
You made me think of that Office Space moment. What'd you do with $1 million? 2 jigs of ones. I'll tell you what I do, man. That's all you do? Yeah, man. Yep. All right. My couple of my bets here. I'm going to go with Detroit up by a run through the first 5. kind of like Reese Olson. Minus 115, that is. I'm taking 2 strikeout options that are kind of juiced up. Neither do I really particularly love individually that I'd want to lay like minus 150, 145. I'll put them together, do a little K prop today. Michael Wacha and Reese Olson. That gets you almost 2-1. And my favorite, Texas money line minus 125 today.
Okay, moving on to the DFS world. Before we do, don't forget there's lots of other ways to play fantasy baseball, including sorare.com. So go to fantasypros.com/collect, fantasypros.com/collect. Sign up for free for Sorare and start rostering your squad, okay? It's a good time. A lot of the Peanuts and Cracker Jacks are in there. They're also in that fantasypros.com/leading off league with Sorare. So if you haven't tried this, again, it's digital cards. You have your team. This is your team, just like the team you draft. But you can buy, sell, trade, and roster different people and then continue your season on. And it's a good time. There's also going to be some giveaways, too. MLB TV down the stretch. Everybody likes that. So go try to do that. DFS world, Corbin Burns, 10.6. Hunter Brown at 9.8 against the Mets. That's my sweet spot. I like that, even though the Astros lineup is a little meh right now.
Yeah.
Scherzer's been terrible in the last 3 starts. I'm going after him. I don't care. And once you get to that Met bullpen, it doesn't matter. And then if you don't like Burns, who's been really good lately, or you don't like Brown, there's Michael Wacha, which is kind of fish in a barrel tonight against San Fran, I think. So 10K for him. Texas and San Diego is where I'm looking for offense. Jake Cronenworth is 2.8. Kirilloff is 2.8. And Zach Remillard, free square alert, ding, 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 2.0. So that's what you're looking now.
Remillard.
You know, like a little Remillard? You know, you get the shrimp, with the coconut shrimp, you get the Remillard with it, I think. Isn't that?
I was thinking Remillard was more like it was like a jelly type of thing. I was thinking, but yeah, your fish
that's a
element is better.
That's
marmalade. I was thinking it sounded marmalade-ish to me.
Right. There's another Welshism. I love coconut shrimp with marmalade.
With marmalade. Again, in our ever looking food element of players, we're looking for food-based players. We need a marmalade player.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
Creole Lady marmalade, maybe even. There you go.
Oh,
There's 3.
okay.
That might be a 70s reference, so might fall
Home runs.
short there. Home runs. Bing. Razor Ramon, 27. Look at Razor. You know, the only person who's having a better time than Razor Ramon right now, I'm trying to think who that might be. Maybe Corbin Carroll. But outside of that, like, Razor is watching his Reds be exciting. They're a couple games out of first place. He's at the top of the home run board. Everything's coming up Razor. Carleek at 23, JJ Tater at 23, Primetime, Blue Harvester, MT Fisher. We got a whole bunch of 22. Welsh, I don't see you on there, buddy. You might have been on there all week, but we don't know.
Yeah, this weekend didn't help. I think I'm sitting at 20, so I got a little bit of work to do, and that is why I am. I guess I'm not going with really a chalk play today. I'm going to go with more of a funsy play. I've got him in the PrizePicks with Ellie De La Cruz. Ellie De La Cruz. I'm looking for some 117 MPHs today, and hopefully one is going to go over the wall. So Ellie De La Cruz for my home run call today.
Cody wants to know, is Razor juicing? If you are Razor, just keep going. Just do it, baby. Like, I'm kind of rooting for him. You know, the Reds have been bad so long, and this incredibly quick turnaround that they've done, it's got to be really exciting. If you're a fan, like, you go from going, oh my God, this is the worst team in baseball, to look at us, we're competing, and we've got the most exciting team in baseball.
You know, also the chat, this chat the entire time. One thing we haven't even talked about, because it's like, can we talk about every single day? Everyone's like, CES. Christian Encarnacion Strand.
Today. Not today. It's not happening.
No, well, it's also a little bit tougher because Joey Votto's coming back, and a lot of people are talking about the trades in here. My whole point to this is this chat has been inundated with when CES come up, Joey Votto, does that push him? Reds making trades and acquiring players. CES could be on the trade block. The Reds are being talked about left and right because it's an exciting young team that's putting out some good players. So God knows with CES.
A little help in the rotation is all they need. Yeah. Bullpen's been okay. Green has been really good of late. That was my guy to trade for because his deeper stats are pretty good. My home run call, he took Ellie De La Cruz. I took Fernando Tatis Jr. He's old hat now. Nobody's excited by him anymore except me. I care. So there you go. If you want to make your home run call, go to our Discord, fantasypros.com/chat. That's where you go. And don't forget to go premium so you can go into the Discord home run call channel and make your choices. There's still July, August, September. You can win individual month prizes. I got to find out who the winner was for. I think we gave away already May. I think we did that. So June, I'm not sure who the June leader is so far. But again, Razor, the overall leader. Or you could just subscribe to Fantasy Pros MLB and drop a comment below, because we keep giving away every single month 1 year free premium upgrade. So go check that out as well. And if you haven't already, please go to the YouTube, sign up. We're less than 100 subs away now from Mustache Day on the show, where Welsh and I will have mustaches 1 day only. I'm not going to tell you what kind or what it's going to look like, but it's going to be fabulous.
I feel like I got to start growing it now, though. I got to start now.
I saw 13.9, and then you showed up today with a clean-shaven face, and I went, well, we got some work to do.
We got some work to do. Well, and my wife's birthday's coming up. That's going to be a rough one. Let's get it quick so I can build it up and do that and not have a big old fight. But it's only 1 day. Maybe Joe will have it for the week. We'll see. Get it going there, and we'll have mustache rides.
And then tomorrow, I got a full mic, like Tom Selleck here. Yeah, that's what I got. So that'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on. For the Welsh, I'm Joey P. We'll be back again tomorrow to do it all again. We'll see you next time, kids. Blue Steel.
She's lump.